canopy, rear door, and cabin interior. Objectives. After completing this section you will get familiar with description of the canopy and rear doors, operation of the canopy and rear doors, heating and ventilation, and emergency acts. Description of the canopy and rear doors. This airplane cockpit can be accessed through two entry points. First one, through the canopy for the pilots, and the second, through the rear door for the passengers. A step and safety walks are installed on both sides of the fuselage to reach the canopy and rear doors. The canopy has large wraparound glazing that provides a panoramic view from the cockpit. The canopy is constructed with carbon fiber reinforced plastic molding, with inner and outer frames bonded together. The frame holds a large acrylic glass window. The passenger door, in the rear, is similar in construction, with CFRP frames and an acrylic glass window. Operation of the canopy and rear doors. To close the canopy, pull down on the canopy frame. It is locked by a handle, located on the left-hand side of the frame. The handle is black on the inside, and red on the outside. Two steel bolts lock into the mating holes of polyethylene blocks, sealing the canopy to the airframe. To make sure that the canopy is locked, push on the rear of the canopy. To lock the canopy, the locking device is used. It is located on the left side of the opening lever. The canopy is locked by turning the key clockwise. To open the closed and blocked canopy, pull the lever inside the opening handle. The locking bolts can be also locked in a second cooling gap setting, leaving a gap under forward canopy. This lets the air flow into the cockpit. Warning: the airplane may be operated with the front canopy in the cooling gap position on the ground only. Before takeoff, the front canopy must be completely closed and locked. Do not block the front canopy with the locking key before flight in order to assure emergency evacuation from outside. Note: a window on the left and right-hand side of the canopy can be opened for additional ventilation or as an emergency window. To close the rear door, pull down on the frame and lock it with the handle. To avoid damages to the frame or injuries to the passengers, a gas pressure damper prevents the door from dropping. An additional lever is present that prevents the rear door from opening accidentally. Note: if the rear door is open in case of strong winds, the door must be held to avoid structural damages. To block the door, turn the locking device clockwise. It is located near the door opening lever. To open the closed and blocked door, pull the lever inside the opening handle from inside the cockpit. Warning: do not block the door with the locking key before the flight, in order to assure emergency evacuation from outside. Heating and ventilation. Heating and ventilation levers are located on the center console, under the instrument panel. The right lever is used for switching between the cabin heating. The center lever is used to set the airflow to the canopy. To turn on the cabin heat, push the right lever to the upward position. To turn it off, simply pull the lever to the downward position. To direct the airflow to the canopy, set the air distribution lever to the defrost position. And to direct the airflow to the floor, set the lever to the floor position. The cockpit of the DA-40NG is ventilated by two movable ventilation nozzles, located on the instrument panel, and spherical nozzles, located in the roll bar to the left and right of the seats, and on the central console on the ceiling. Ambient air is provided to the pilot's cabin via two NACA air inlets in front of the fuselage. Hoses then connect the air inlets to the ventilation nozzles, on the instrument panel. Air for the passenger's cabin is provided via a NACA inlet, located on the bottom of the left wing. It enters the cabin via an opening in the closing rib, connected with hoses to the outlets within the cabin. Air exits the cockpit through openings in the baggage compartment frame, and then via a gap between the fuselage and the rudder. A ventilation inlet baffle may be installed to increase cabin temperature when operating the airplane in low temperatures. If the baffle is installed, the rear cabin ventilation nozzles and those on the ceiling will be inoperative. Emergency acts. If OAM 40-326 is incorporated, this airplane is equipped with an emergency axe under the co-pilot's seat on the floor panel. In case of emergency, if the canopy cannot be opened, use the axe to break through the canopy glass. Warning: make sure not to harm other persons by using the emergency axe. Beware of sharp edges and fragments of the broken canopy. Summary. With this section, you got familiar with description of the canopy and rear doors, operation of the canopy and rear doors, heating and ventilation, and emergency acts.